Have you ever felt like very helpless at some moment in your life and things are not going your way or they are not even looking like getting resolved shortly? So it is a long journey, and how does it feel? Hey, I'm Sangeeta. I'm a mid-career professionals coach. I call myself as a breakthrough coach, India's only breakthrough pathways coach, and I help mid-career professionals to rise up to their potential. So let us get to the topic today. So I was feeling this sense of getting lost somewhere. So I asked myself this question: am I bothered about this thing happening in office? And I felt very silly. That doesn't affect me anymore. Then what? Why I am feeling so lost? So here are few threads that will help you as it helped me. Like awareness before the strand. You begin noticing that before situation pull you in, there was now a voice. The voice is neither right or wrong, it's awareness, a choice point. You realize I can be there or I can be elsewhere. Both are valid, but only one truly serves me right now. So, what is that? The second is breaking the old yes pattern. In the past, saying yes was almost automatic, influenced by habit, others' persuasion, or fear of missing out. This time, you paused and asked, if I say yes, what do I have? Or what do I lose? If I say no, what do I gain? Choosing no was not rejection but protection of your priority. Third is redefining comfort zone versus flow. You question, am I avoiding this just because I am in my comfort zone? You will realize it is not about fear of leaving comfort, it is about avoiding unnecessary flow disruption. Training your mind is like an athlete's discipline. Some interruption costs more than they seem. Shedding guilt is the fourth thing. In earlier years, you might have felt guilty for choosing yourself. Now, your clarity on priorities makes no guilt necessary. This is the mark of growing self leadership. You, you respect your own energy as much as others' needs. Fifth is recalibrating your yes and no. You now have two lists forming things you certainly will do, things you certainly will not do. This clarity wasn't taught by family or tradition, it was shaped by your personal growth journey and your current work. This recalibration is an ongoing process and it is strengthening your identity. Right? Let us go to another segment of how our inner process of recognizing, holding, and releasing a state, feeling clueless and helpless for days, then suddenly noticing it lift. Your conscious practice of seeking feedback, awareness, and refinement in your sessions with others, not from insecurity but from genuine curiosity about improvement. So, part 1, the feedback inquiry. You approach the other person openly. Is there something I could have done differently to make it better for you? This is a coaching guiding best practice, asking without defensiveness, inviting honestly. You also contextualize it by sharing how feedback from others, like she was saying something, had once helped you adjust. The response you got wasn't about technique, it's about their distraction, not your facilitation. That is an important distinction. Not all less than optimal outcomes are your responsibility. Then, part 2 is the state you experienced. For 2-3 days, you felt a sustained loss of clarity and confidence, not from any single external event but from an inner processing gap. You described it as a cluelessness or helplessness which you tried to label. Is it surrender? Is it letting go? Is it powerlessness? You stayed curious about it instead of resisting it, even though it felt uncomfortable. Then, unexpectedly, one piece of good news instantly shifted the state like a light switching off. That contrast gave you insight. Some emotional states dissolve not by solving them but by encountering a new perspective or external shift. Part 3, the relational layer. You notice you engage deeply only with a small number of people, those willing to meet you in depth. This means that when you do engage, it can carry more emotional weight because these conversations are rare and meaningful. Your example with your website person at the end shows how even practical contact can be part of this network of deeper connection. What this could mean for you. The 2.5 day cluelessness phase might not have been failure. It might have been a nervous system recalibration moment where your mind went quiet so a shift could settle in. The sudden release upon hearing good news points to how external triggers can either reinforce or release an inner state. In feedback terms, your role as facilitator is already strong. Your next level of mastery might come from noticing in the moment when your client's experience is being shaped more by their own life context than by your process. So, uh, it is not always you, but you can get caught up with something that is happening to others. So, awareness of the how trap. You notice that asking how is it going to happen often pulls you into overthinking and out of presence. You also caught that this isn't about ignoring reality, it is about focusing on what is within your control. Raleigh's comment helped you see this how question in a habitual thought pattern, and now you can catch it earlier. Second thing is control versus mental well being. You tied the sense of control to a sense of mental stability, the feeling that I am okay. When that sense of control slips, it can feel like mental ground is shaky. The metaphor you gave, night is darkest before the dawn, became more than just a phrase. It became something you lived through in the last 1.5 days. Confidence returns through sharing. While sharing your experience, you noticed your confidence return. You realized that some of these feelings weren't even at the front of your mind until you started speaking them out loud. This shows the power of verbal processing. Naming the unspoken often breaks the loop of internal heaviness. Part number 4 is trusting intuition and what happens when you don't. You acknowledge that intuition always plays hints, but in that 1.5 day window, you didn't trust it. You see now that losing connection with intuition made you feel hanging or nowhere. You reframed it. This pause when often happens just before something good arrives. Part number 5, navigating triggers in daily life. You gave examples from home and work where others' urgency or criticism triggered you. Your mother's frustration about you eating late, a parent at work rushing for their child's needs, concern about other coaches being disturbed and its impact on payments. You realize that these reactions were partly from a self focused lens, seeing only how things affected you instead of holding space for others' needs. The recognition brought a humility. I was selfish, not in a moral judgment way, but in an awareness way. Part number 6, key realizations are the how question is a distraction. Focus on what is in your control. Confidence can return simply by voicing what has been unspoken. Intuition is a compass. Losing it makes you drift. Triggers are often invitations to zoom out and see others' realities. The darkest moments can be a prelude to light. So, so if this can be distilled in few key threads, then it will be like you notice the recurring theme in your reactions. It is not control um, that matters, it is understanding. You imagine a triggering interaction differently and saw how much softer it could feel. You question the idea of letting go and reframed it. If it is truly yours, it will return. You close the session by genuinely inviting everyone to release the topic and enjoy the weekend. So, that is the process that you need to go through and ask yourself all the time these three questions: what do you want? What do you really want? How does it feel? And how is it that like wish fulfilled? Ready to move from stuck to significant? DM me mission. Your career starts here.